Hey everybody, it is another fantastic Monday, and you know that if it is a Monday, you know that you are in tune to the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast. I am your host, Jazz Bennett, mother educational leader, host of the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast, and of course, event host. I see that some of you have checked in. I see thank you for that. I will be giving you shots out a little bit later. But listen, I wanted to just encourage you. You know how Monday is for some of us, but Monday is truly my favorite day of the week. You know why? A lot of people think I'm crazy for this, but Mondays are my favorite day because it is a reminder. It's the start of a new week. It reminds me of my new goals. So, you have to goal set, and you also have to make sure that you are prepared to crush those goals for the week. And so I love when a Monday comes around because it just reminds me, hey, you have another chance to get it together. You have another chance to set new goals, and that's what it's all about. Okay. And so with that being stated, I hope that you have set your goals, and I hope that you are on a positive, upbeat, upright position so that you are on the right trajectory to make those goals occur. All right. So here's what I want you to do. If you are not already following me on Facebook or Instagram, I need for you to make sure that you follow me. That's Jazzie, Jazzie, Conversations with Jazz. You can find me on IG, on YouTube, on Facebook, and all your podcast platforms. I want you to make sure that you subscribe while you are at the location known as YouTube. All right. We're trying to monetize this thing, and we're close. We're on our way. All right. So thank you so much to all of my faithful listeners and viewers. I truly appreciate you. I really do. You are definitely a part of my Jazzy crew. While you're on YouTube, you're going to hit that subscribe button. You're going to hit that notifications bell, and you're going to make sure that you leave me a review in the comment section. Let me know what you like about the podcast. Let me know who you like to see. Who do you think has a dope comeback story? Speaking of the comeback story, you are here because you know that the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast spotlights the power of the comeback story. I truly believe that you can come back from anything with God, the right resources, and using them effectively, and your willingness to do the work. You already know it, right? I say it every single podcast at the beginning and at the end because that is truly the winning formula to your comeback, all right? We talk about a myriad of topics right here on this show, but the common thread is that my guest has a dope comeback story, just like my guest for tonight, okay? So listen, if you would like to partner with the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast, all you have to do is book your ad spot. I offer ad spots at the beginning of the podcast, in the middle of the podcast, and also at the end of the podcast. Book me to host your next event. You can contact me at jazzieconversationswithjazz@gmail.com. All right. We have an election that's coming up. And so one of my sponsor spots goes to Mr. MJ Wright. Marcus Wright Jr. is running for seat 2 on the Polk County Public School Board. All right. So here's what I need for you to do. I need for you to help out whenever you see that he starts to campaign, which he is starting on the campaign trail right now. I need for you to make sure that you listen to his platform. You see where he's going with this, because District 2 is the area. It's the Four Corners area, right, in the district. So it's your Davenport Shore. It is your Haines City, your Lake Wells area. All of that area over there belongs to District 2. And there are so many schools there. And so MJ is no stranger to hard work. He's no stranger to community service. He's no stranger to the ways that the school board works. All right. So I want you to make sure that on August 20th, 2024, you cast your vote for Mr. MJ Wright, because he is the right choice for us all. All right. I see that Boss Fest checked in, and so I want to give a major shout out to Edwina Butler and also to Kevin Butler. They are bringing Boss Fest to us yet again. This time, it's with a little twist to it. Now, you know about Boss Fest, because who doesn't know about Boss Fest? And so Boss Fest Content is King is going down on April 7th, Saturday, April 7th. So you have time to get your ticket, but not really. I need you to get your tickets right now, because you want to secure your spot in the place. We have Brandon Schott is going to be there. We have David Shands is going to be there. Legit is going to be there. Taj Mahal is going to be there. I'm going to be there. Big Z is going to be there. We have some of Polk County's heavy hitters, and we took it out of state to bring you back some entrepreneurs who are experts in their field. So if you want to monetize your business, you want to get your place there. All right. So they are looking for vendors. They're taking some more vendor spots. So you better get on it before all of them dissipate and they're gone. So make sure that you let them know that Jazzy Conversations with Jazz sent you. You can get your tickets at www.boss-fest.com. Again, that's www.boss-fest.com. All right. So listen, without further ado, what I want you to do is make sure that you let me know where you are in the building. Is Polk County in the building? I hope that Polk County is in the building. I see Lake Wells. I see Haines City. I see Arbondale has checked in. Ooh, New Jersey's in the building. We can't call you New Jersey anymore, right? Because you are definitely Polk County. What it do, Saint?
How you doing? How you doing, Jazz?
I am doing so well. So I want to go ahead and introduce you to my audience. You are watching Mr. Saint. Now, Saint is a 39-year-old music
Yeah,
enthusiast. And so
yeah.
just by that line alone, that line alone lets me know that you and I can get along very well because I am also a music enthusiast. And
Good
so we're going
stuff.
to get into that a little later. So I know that you are definitely on this life journey of knowledge and of becoming, but you're not alone, right? Because you're taking along your beautiful wife and your
Absolutely.
4 kids. You have 2 boys and you have 2 daughters that we're
Yeah.
going to talk about a little later. Now, you love traveling. You are a travel aficionado.
Love it.
Yes, you are. And so you're just constantly doing things that will elevate you, that will give you knowledge, and you're just a great guy. But I would be remiss if I didn't give your crew a shout out right now. So I want to give a huge shout out to the This and That and the Other podcast. So I
Podcast.
know that they
Absolutely.
are watching as well. So how y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Shout out Lou. Shout out Tone. Shout out Swan. My boys.
Those are your boys. Those are your
Yeah,
boys. So
that's my brother.
how's your Monday going?
Um, it's Monday. Definitely
It's
Monday. It's a
Listen, so
Monday.
when people come on my podcast and they start off with it's Mondaying, because listen, it's Mondaying could mean a lot of things. I'm smiling. So
Yeah.
my Monday, it did what it needed to do. But what
Yeah.
about you? Like when you say Monday is Mondaying, what do you mean?
I mean, I work for the post office. So for people who don't know
Uh-huh.
me personally, I work for the post office. So Mondays tend to be heavy, extremely heavy. So I had to move, move the moon, move the sun to be here at 7 o'clock. But we're here, and I was stressed, but I'm here, man. God made a way, so I'm
He
blessed.
did.
Yeah.
He did. And I'm going to say that I truly, truly, truly appreciate you, kind of finagling your schedule and appeasing the request. It truly means a lot to me. Each and every one of the guests that I have on my podcast, I truly believe that it is a divine connection. Um, I pray about it. I listen to God's voice, and it's like He leads me to people, or sometimes people are led to me. And so
Mhm.
I believe that it's all in a divine purpose, and we'll figure out what that purpose
Amen.
is as this episode goes on. And
Yeah.
so,
Amen.
introduce yourself to everyone.
Um, all right, so I go by the name of Saint. For those who know me best, my name is Anthony Santiago. I am a Floridian by move. I'm from Jersey originally. Moved down here when I was 6 years old to Lakeland, and I've been here ever since. So I'm a Polk County boy,
Yes, you
um,
are.
and
Yes,
I'm
you
and I'm
are.
proud. I'm proud of it. Um, but yeah, I got 4 kids. I got a son that's gonna be 19 years old, graduated from George Jenkins High School last year. My daughter, she's gonna be 17. She attends Plant City High School, and I have 2 little babies. I got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Y'all
So started
y'all
over,
just started
but I'm
all over
blessed.
again.
Yeah, but you know what? Like you said, only God knows. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
I never had that intention
yeah,
to do that, but I'm blessed. And it comes with its own trials and tests. So
yeah,
um, it's definitely different this time around for sure.
yeah.
But yeah, I moved down here. When I was 6 years old. Um, been working. I mean, I've been through everything.
Yeah.
I've been in the streets. I was raised in church. And, a
You a
lot of
church boy.
times I'm a church boy. I actually I was on the praise and worship team, man,
Listen,
from when I was like
I was gonna ask you now.
yeah, from when I was 8 years old up until adulthood. So I was 20 years old. I love everything about it.
Yeah.
I really truly feel like church made me who I am.
Yeah.
As far as like my character goes, you know what I mean?
If
And
look, church
my
made a
morals.
lot of us.
Yeah, yeah,
Church made a lot of
facts,
us.
facts. There's a lot of us that are called for higher purposes. Um,
Yeah.
but everything's good. And in the years that I've been here, I ran into my boys. Lou. I worked with him at the call center. We used to work at ICT together,
Yeah.
and
Listen, shout out to
for
ICT. ICT
real,
is so, people act like they want to forget ICT, but
everybody.
listen,
Yeah, you if you
listen,
if
I'm
you
telling
grew up
you,
in Lakeland,
I think that the only job that could really rival public stories at the warehouse is a
ICT.
call center.
Yeah, call
ICT.
CT, yeah, ICT sites. You know what I mean? In Lakeland, yeah, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
GC services too. Before they shut down, now they're at home.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to tell you because I used to work for GC services when I was in Tallahassee, and it
me
wasn't nothing like
too.
GC services.
Yeah,
And
man.
West Telecommunications is what it turned into, but that call
Yeah,
center, ooh,
it teaches you. It teaches you patience for sure, and
it does.
how to deal
It
with
does.
people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah, I met Lou there. Tone, I grew up with him since we were kids. We went to middle school together and high school. Like, I mean, we've known each other since we was little. That's how we all know each other. Like Taj and everybody. Shout out to Big
Yeah.
Taj. Shout out to Don Lewis. Shout out to Marshina. But yeah, we all grew up together. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And definitely, I've been through every walk of life, and I'm in a good place right now, thank God.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it comes a point in time when as an adult, period, not just a man, an adult, period. It comes a point in time where everything you pray for and
Hmm.
everything you struggle, it just starts lining up, and it makes everything, you know what I mean, worth it.
Yeah.
And I think like now I'm entering that season. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm
Yeah.
happy. It's stressful. It's stressful, but I'm happy. You know what I mean? Because I know God's finally opening doors that
Yeah.
I've been wanting to be open a long time ago.
When you think about that sweet spot of being happy, like that is such a great place to be in because I go back and I just think about times where you ever just walk around and you're like, man, when is it going to happen, when is it going to come, like where I
Yeah,
just feel like just leveled out,
yeah,
like not stressed,
yeah,
that I'm not hoping for something else, that I'm
yeah,
not looking back in the past of what should have happened. So this euphoric
yeah.
state that you are describing right now, I think that is so dope, and I love to hear when men are able to get to that place because it's so much on you guys. Like I realize like how heavy your shoulders are, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I just salute stand-up guys. Like I have a thing for stand-up guys, and that thing is just respect. It's just really common respect. So we're gonna get a little bit into that, but I
What's
want to
up?
back it up a little bit. Let's get into this music.
Go ahead, go
Listen,
ahead, go ahead.
let's get into this music because I've watched your podcast episodes and then conversations that we've had, and then with like brief conversations that we've had, or just from me looking at you guys online. And it seems like that music element is the connector
Yeah,
between all of you.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
walk me through this journey with the church music, because I think you're like more so on the R&B tip, right?
So I love R&B. To me, I love that's my passion.
Yeah.
I love singing. Um, but I always grew up as a musician.
Yeah.
So like, I grew up as a musician. I used to be the one that used to be behind the drums, and I'd be like, Pastor, I don't want to play drums. I want to sing. And he's like, stay on the drums for now. I need a drummer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love R&B. I love hip hop. Um, my my taste in music is very diverse because I'm Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So originally, like, Spanish music is my bread and butter. That's what I grew up around. That's
Yes.
my culture. Um,
Yes.
but I've learned being here how to love and appreciate all music. So I
Yeah.
love all music, but church was definitely my foundation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that to me is like I tell everybody, you either on shaky legs or you got a strong root. You
Right.
know what I mean? I'm rooted.
Right.
I'm rooted. I don't care what lifestyle I'm living. I don't care
Yeah.
what I'm doing right or doing wrong. I'm rooted. I know where my faith lies. So
Yeah.
um, it's
Respect
definitely
to that.
something. It's definitely something that has embedded me, and I love music. What you were saying as far as like the podcast. So
Yeah.
originally, that's what it is. It's a hip hop podcast.
Yes.
Um, as we've gotten and put pieces together, we learned because originally it was Lou and Swan, and later on Tone and I joined, and once we started putting pieces together, we started learning. Okay, everybody actually brings something different to this table, so
Yes.
it balances out. You know what I mean? You got one
Yeah.
that's knowledgeable in this, you got one that's very knowledgeable in this, and it was like the vibe was very organic, and it's I'm happy to see where we're going, man, and we appreciate everybody who's opened the door and accepted us, and we're here for it all. We're here for it all. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Listen, tell everybody when you guys air because I don't want to leave that out at all.
So we air Thursday nights. We go live on Facebook. It's the This, That, and the Other podcast. You can also follow us here, This, That, and the Other _podcast. Every Thursday night, 8:30 ish. We say we say ish. So like I said, it's definitely a vibe. We have guests come all the time from different walks of life. It's not,
Yeah.
we may have a strong base as far as hip hop, but we learned something doing this podcast that you can come from any walk of life. And the one thing that everybody has in common is their love for music.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're from. It don't matter what language you speak. Music is what connects everybody. So when we have guests on there, they could
Yeah.
be doctors, they could be whoever. We're always going to ask
Yeah.
them, what's your Mount Rushmore of music? You know what I
I
mean? Like
know
we
that's
want to
right.
know. And it's a great time and a great place to, what I'm saying, have
Yeah.
like minds and have dialogue and, no judgment, and you can, speak what you need to speak. And, we're focused also on men's mental health because
Yeah.
that's a major thing right now. You know what I mean? That
It
that we're
is.
dealing with. It's a
Yeah.
big epidemic. And so just trying to spread love and
Yeah.
positivity and good vibes.
Yeah. I like it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Listen, so what's in your playlist right now?
Ooh. So, all right. So I'm one of those people that once an album comes out,
Mm-hmm.
I like to dissect the album and listen to it heavily, heavily, heavily.
Yeah.
So, I've been listening to the Kanye West for like 2 weeks. I've been listening to it on rotation.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, the Bob Marley movie that just came out, they released the soundtrack,
I
and that
heard it's
soundtrack
bananas. I heard it's
is
bananas.
it's amazing. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
they got everybody from Daniel Caesar, Jesse Reyes. They
Yeah.
got, my boy Faruco. He represents Puerto Rico. Like, I love it. The whole album's like
Yeah.
super, super, super fire. And
Yeah.
that's heavily, heavily in my rotation. R&B wise, I don't know, man. I listen to different people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I listen to Black. I don't know if you ever heard of him, Six Lack. It's spelled Six Lack.
Yeah.
Fire artist. He's got this new track called Inwood. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Inwood, forgot what it is. Inwood something, but I it's on rotation, like it's on repeat for me. And I've listened to this guy named Isaiah Falls.
Okay.
He's got a song he just dropped. It's called Florida Baby.
Florida baby.
Listen, Florida Baby. But the song is a vibe. Like, to me, it's a vibe. Summertime, especially, it's a vibe. Lou's been bragging like he just said he's got the greatest
Right.
R&B.
I was
Listen,
just about to say that.
we've
I'm like,
been
I'm waiting for my
talking about it.
copy.
Oh yeah, he's been working on his R&B playlist for. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Um,
Listen, Lou, we want over 25
oh
songs. I
yeah,
want over 25 Jones on there, okay?
yeah. It's got to be like Yo Mama Johnson's Quiet Storm vibes, like old
Listen, I'm
school.
trying I
new
tell
school,
you.
everything. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So, but yeah, what's
yeah.
on your playlist?
I don't like to
See, see,
tell. You know
see,
what I'm
see.
saying? I don't like to tell. Like so I am like I'm a time capsule. Like I once I'm stuck in an era,
Yeah,
like it's hard for me to
yeah.
move out of it. And I just am a true lover of 90s R&B. And so like my go-to aside from the 90s R&B is Summer Walker. Like I just feel like she
Oh,
has a
fire.
phenomenal collection of work.
Yeah,
Like that girl is so talented,
yeah.
you know, looking outside of the personal stuff, like when you really listen to her stuff, like like her stuff really resonates with
Within
me. She's a phenomenal
uh,
artist. She just has it. Like she's one of those people that just it's just easy. Like that's that God-given talent, you know,
yeah,
to her. Um and so I like more like of the neo soul tip. I can't think of his name, but he's like the new Marvin Gaye. Like I'm like really on him. I think his name is it October or Orlando? I can't remember right now,
you
but
talk.
he just really what'd you say?
You said, hold on. What you said? What is it? Orlando or
His name
October?
is either is it it's either Orlando or it's like October. Like he has like a catchy name, but he's being deemed like the new
Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye. And so I'm liking his vibe right now. Um I will tell you that I did pop in some R. Kelly this Saturday. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie and
You
say
can't
that
be
I
mad
wasn't.
at that. Yeah,
I
you
can't
can't.
like thank you. His name is
October
October London.
London.
And
Yeah,
so I don't know, like, and it's just so crazy because I'm telling you that the vibe, like, I'm the type of person like it goes by feeling.
yeah,
And so I was just like in my room and I was thinking about something and I was like, oh, like I went back to DJ Secret. If I could think of the CD that I used to
yeah.
always come
We
home from
was just
college and ask him to
talking. We
make,
were just talking
if
about
I
that.
could get that CD, but Secret had when TP2 came out, like that TP2 album, that second R. Kelly, oh my
Yeah,
God. Like I don't know, like I just had a vibe of hearing that. But then I don't know, I'll just go back into like some old stuff like Pete Rock
yeah.
and
Everything.
CL Smooth. Like I'm just like I don't know, it's just a vibe. Like I don't have anything that's like constant on my playlist. It's just when I think of something, I'm like, oh, I want to feel this
Yeah.
way. I'll just go to a specific artist. So
See,
that's how my mood
that's
is.
that's the power of music too. I tell people, people don't understand how much music influenced the soul. Um, it's a mood changer. So you could be
Yes.
one of those people that you can be down and sad, or you can put in a good song and all of a sudden you're happy, or vice versa. It can if you're in a bad mental state and you listen to a bad song,
I'm
it's gonna make you go down
telling
that rabbit hole.
you.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Friday
you.
is another one. Friday, I put
Yeah.
Lou on Friday.
Yeah.
That's another artist that if you listen to his music, um, super fire. You could tell that he was raised from church, and
Mm-hmm.
on his album he's Haitian.
Yeah.
His mom, there's a part in one of his songs where she starts
Mm-hmm.
praying for him in
Wow.
Creole, and
Wow.
it's crazy because every time I listen to the song, I don't know what she's saying,
Yeah.
but I know she's praying.
Yeah.
So I just close my eyes. You know what I mean? Whatever it
Yes.
is she's praying,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it. So, because you gotta understand too that that they can be praying for somebody else, but if you're taking that prayer, you're gonna take that blessing too.
You receive it.
So,
Yeah, you
yeah,
receive
you're
it
gonna
too.
receive it.
Yeah.
So, Friday's a good artist. I've been listening to have you listened to Division DVSN?
Yes.
That's that's
So
a
don't
fire one.
you gonna take me back because that oh Lord.
Yeah, yeah.
Biggest
DVSN's a good one.
mistake I made.
Yeah, he's fire.
Listen, he is, yeah, like when you said that, I'm gonna just tell you what you took me back to, but it's
Yeah.
okay. Like I think that music music is definitely like a love language
Absolutely.
for me anyway, but I truly believe like if you get someone who's on the same frequency and wavelength with you on the music tip, it is like I just know someone that I don't even understand how we got so heavy.
Yeah.
But I do know, and it was
The
because of the music. And I'm
music.
like, wait a minute, like
Uh,
you know that, like you're on that, and then like so it's funny because he sent me a DBSN
yeah.
song, but this was a long time ago because I'm very highly single. But this was
Yeah.
a long time ago, so it was just like just thought I'd throw that out there. But so that just I don't know, like that when you said that, like it took me back to that moment because
yeah.
it just I tell people all the time, and I tell my son this all the time because he listens to like music, and I'm like, is this shit demonic? Like, what kind of rap artist
Yeah.
is this?
Yeah.
And
These
I'm like,
new
listen,
artists are on some other
yeah, they're
stuff, bro. They're
like these
emo.
new
They're very
artists.
emo.
Yeah,
They're
you
emo. They're emo
right. So you
rappers.
kind of have to be careful with that. But the one thing I
Absolutely.
do love about him, though, he's a music enthusiast. You are, and he is too. And I'm like, you know how when you look at your kids and you like, my God, like I didn't even have to sway you into this, but you're following my pattern. Like he'll just listen to music for hours, and
That's
it's like I love it.
genetics. It's
Yeah,
genetics.
it's just
Yeah.
like whoa. Like I just think that that's so dope. So
Yeah.
thank you for obliging me with this music talk because I
Yeah.
could talk about music like all day. What is this if I
Gibeon.
get caught
Gibeon is
cheating? Oh
another one.
yes,
Yeah. That's another.
Vivian
That's
is
a good
that
track.
dude.
Gibeon is fire. Yeah. Gibeon is fire.
His but you know what? Before we get off the music tip, I'm gonna tell you when you brought up the Bob Marley story movie.
Mm-hmm.
I found myself like I just went through this whole rabbit hole with the whole Marley family and all of that, like on TikTok,
Yeah.
and it just brought me back to Lauryn Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And just looking at or listening to X Factor, I was sitting there shook,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, because the images of her, um, which one was she really heavy into? Oh
But the which
my
Marley
God,
wasn't
yes.
she with Ziggy?
Mm-mm.
Who was it? Oh,
I want to say his
oh
name
no,
is
it's
it
not
starts with
Ziggy.
an
It's the older
N.
one. Yeah, he's the
Yeah,
older one. He's the
yeah.
older one.
And
He
so
doesn't really be in the music and stuff like that. Nah, it's
I
not
was
Ziggy.
just like, it's not
Nah,
Ziggy. Um,
but it's the
oh my
older
God, I
brother.
can't think of his
He's the one
name.
that usually does like that.
So
He handles like the business
it's
side of the family.
it's the one where his son is the artist out now who has a popular song off of the Bob Marley.
YG Marley.
Right. So it's his dad. That's
Yeah,
I think is that his dad? Yeah, I think that's
it's gotta be.
okay. So anyways, so
They're a big
so
family.
right. So I just found myself just like, oh my God, like Lauren's that whole album, but good Lord.
Yeah,
Whew. So yeah, like music is very, very powerful. So we are here.
yeah.
It's
Here we
kind of
go.
a
Yeah, we
segue. We
get
are
into the
here
bread and
because
butter.
listen, on like in February, I always do a love show. Like last February, what I did is I brought in couples because I'm a stickler for a great love story or
Mm-hmm.
like a couple who has gone through it all and they've stuck it out and they're together, and it's like when you see one and you talk to one, it's like you know that it's no penetrating. When
Mm-hmm.
you talk to the other one, you know that it is no penetrating their union. Like they both speak highly of one another. And so
Mm-hmm.
last year I brought in a lot of couples that were like that. Like people just sent me suggestions. And then I also had I also had a singles show as well to kind of round it out,
Yeah,
you know, kind of give my
both
singles a little
sides.
platform as well.
Yeah,
Both sides, you know.
both sides.
But I'm always interested, and it could just be because I am a single female, and it's like, and then you listen to all of these podcasts with
Yeah,
these male
here we go.
perspectives on single women and single
Yeah,
men and what you can expect, what to not expect, or you know, if I'm gonna wipe her, she has to be a certain way. And I just listen, and it's just like there's definitely piss in the single swimming pool,
hmm
and so I like to speak to people who are mature about it. I like to speak to people who, because I'm over that point. I'm old enough where I'm over the point of just like playing games with people.
hmm
And so, like, I feel like at this mature age, I only want to talk to people who are very serious about building something with someone. And so, I want to know your love story. Like, how did you know that your wife was the one that you were going to build with? And more so, what qualities in her did you find? So what's your love story, Saint?
So, all right. So it's funny, right? First of all, shout out to my wife, Lakeisha Dupree Santiago. Um, I met her. I met her several years ago, man. Actually, we've known each other for like 6, 7 years. And we've been married. We're on our third year married. Um, and in that short time, God's blessed us with two beautiful babies. My two oldest are from a previous relationship. Um, when I met her, it was crazy because we met through a mutual friend. And it was funny because on my mutual friend's Snapchat, I saw her in the background. Like it's crazy because usually I'm a person that pays attention to everything.
Yeah.
So I might be like looking at you right now, but I'm looking at the couch behind you. Like you know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's
Yeah.
me.
That
Um,
sounds like me too.
yeah. So I'm looking
Yeah.
at my friend's Snapchat, and this man said, "Why stay?" Yo, he said, "I can't stand Lou, man. Golly."
I was
Hey,
trying to
listen,
ignore it because I'm like,
Lou.
I just can't wait for you to see it. But I was like, when he
We
sees it, he's
trying,
gonna
bro.
start
We
laughing.
trying. We trying to do something different here, man. Nah.
So different.
When I saw her in my friend's snap, I was like, "Yo, who's that?" And he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's my girlfriend." And I'm like, "Bro, she bad." You know what I mean? I was like, "What's
Yeah.
up? Put me in, coach." And he was like, "All right."
Yes.
So I was like, "I just need to just connect me. I mean, I'll take it
Yeah.
from there." Um,
Yeah.
and it was crazy because we started off like that. She was living in Miami. She had just moved down here. She was born in Germany.
Okay.
She's a military child. So she had it's crazy because as we talked about our lives previously before we knew each other, we both were in different cities at the same time.
Oh wow.
And it's like, it's like, nah, y'all aren't gonna cross paths right now. Y'all are
Yeah.
gonna cross paths later down the road.
Yeah.
So like, New Jersey, we were there. We were in Tennessee at the same time. She lived in Tennessee for a long time. And she coincidentally, she's from the same city that Lou's from, Clarksville. Shout out to
Okay.
Clarksville for Lou. Shout out for
Okay.
my wife and for Vontae. Um, so yeah, she's from there, and then we kicked it off, and we spent. It's funny because we spent New Year's together, and they say that the person that you bring in the New Year with is
Yes.
who you're gonna be. You're gonna spend that year with
Yeah.
type deal. I didn't know that. I ended up. I'm in it for the long haul. So
Yeah.
it's like
How did
we
you even
got.
approach her though? How did you approach her? Because nowadays, guys are just nowadays, some guys just don't know how to do it. Like I literally had a guy who was interested in me, and he's like, I sent you a friend request. Like that should have let you know that I was interested. And I'm like, are you
Nah, you
kidding
gotta.
me?
Yeah, closed mouths don't get fed. That's a big thing I always say. You have to be able to speak. Speak up, or
Yeah.
you're not gonna eat. When I approached her, so it's funny because I had just got out of a relationship, like a long-term relationship. I was in another relationship for like 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
And I tried that the whole blended families thing. It was horrible.
But
And
let's put a pin in that. Put a pin in it.
yeah,
And I'm only saying put a pin in it because that's life. Like
yeah,
that's like a new life. Well, it's not a new life for me.
yeah,
My kids are having to kind of experience that
yeah. It's hard.
on that front. And so I'm having to
Yeah,
experience it because it is kind of hard, and it is
yeah,
kind of hard if it's not introduced the proper way.
yeah.
All the way. And so what made it hard for you? Like what made the blended family, because I'm not saying that it's hard on
Yeah,
the other counterpart, because obviously they're together, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's finicky. But for
I
you,
think
what's
I
hard?
think for me what it is, so I grew up, I was blessed enough to grow up with both of my parents in the household. My parents they're going on like 45, 47 years together.
Yeah.
So I grew up with that. I'm thankful to it. So it was hard for me to adjust, I guess, because I have my type of, like I'm a father, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And if I
Yeah.
see, like, I feel like I've always felt like, as a father figure, it don't matter if them your kids or not.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're the
Yeah.
father figure in that house, and you set the precedent. Um, so it was a problem that we were having. Like, it wasn't, it wasn't gonna be respected. And when you got two people who just don't, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Um, and that was a big struggle. You know what I mean? As far as the kids getting along, that was a struggle too because you would always have that oh well, that preference. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Oh well,
Yeah.
it's like, well, you treat them better than you treat me type deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of times it was me treating the other kids better than my own kids,
Just to prove a
and
point.
just to prove a point. My
Yeah.
kids were older, and I tried to explain to them, hey guys, like this is what it is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it still wasn't worth the it wasn't worth it, man. And
Yeah.
I had to walk, and so when I met my wife, I had went, I was one of those guys that I would be in a relationship, and 3 months later I'm in another relationship, long-term relationships. I've never been like a
Yeah.
short-term relationship guy. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, 6 years, 5 years, 7, like that's, you're invested. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um,
Okay.
so I
Is it
would,
because you think you were just longing, like, to get what you saw, like what you were raised with?
I think, yeah, well, that's a major part of it. I always grew up in my mind visually. I saw myself father of four. Um, you know what I mean? Because I grew up with three siblings as well. Like I got two older sisters and I got my
Yeah.
little brother. So we grew up four, two boys, two girls. So
Yeah.
in my mind, that's what I
That was
want. You know what I
it.
mean? That's it. That's it. Like I
Yeah.
saw that's what it was. I had a very I'm blessed, to have had a very good relationship with my siblings growing up, and we still have a great relationship. We never fought. We never had any like beef or we fell out or nothing. So
Hmm.
I'm grateful for that. And that's what I saw myself. That's what I envisioned my life being. So a lot of times when I would try to approach that and I tried to make that happen and it didn't work, you kind of get the sense of like, I
Yeah.
you're just like, dang man, it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
but that's life. You know what I mean? I always
Yeah.
felt like different situations make and build your character. So and I always, it's funny because me and my wife, we go to talk and I'll be like, thank my exes for that. I always say that, like, thank my exes for that. And she'll be like, what? And I'm like, you know what I mean? Because like they
Yeah.
taught me
Yeah.
things that I shouldn't do, and then they taught me things that I should do. Maybe there were things that I wasn't doing right, and I paid the price for it. You know what I mean? And then there
Yeah.
were certain things that I did right, and I said, okay, this kind of works.
Yeah.
Um,
But
when I
you
met
know
my
what?
wife,
But thank you for saying that though. Thank
yeah,
you
thanks.
for no, because I always wonder if in a like in a mature conversation that you would have with someone, like would you really be able to have that conversation of, I really realized that this is where I went right in the
Yeah,
relationship, but I also realized that this is where I was absolutely wrong
yeah,
in the relationship.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's part of growth. Um,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't. They take for granted the issues that they have or have had previously. I
Hmm.
kind of wear mines with pride. I say I wear my badges with pride. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't look at it like, oh, it was a failed relationship. You know what I mean? A lot of the people that I've been in relationships, what I'm saying, we parted ways on, amicably. So there's no like really bad blood.
Yeah.
It's just, it's part of life. Sometimes you outgrow people, sometimes you
Yeah.
don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like LL Cool J said, you know what I mean? If you don't learn to change with the times, you're gonna get left behind.
That's
So
true.
you have to learn to adapt and to change and to evolve. But with my wife, I was giving myself some time. I was single for months and months, almost a year. And I
Okay.
remember, I remember my boy Rich. He was like telling me like we'd be funny because we'd go out and I'd just be like, and I'm looking and I'm like, damn, bro, like this can't be it. You know what I mean? And he's like, and he'd be like, bro, you need a girl. Like you need a girl, bro. You driving me insane. And I'm like, what you mean? And he's
Yeah.
like, bro, and I'm like, nah, bro. Like I'm enjoying
Yeah.
I'm enjoying myself. Like I'm finding me. You know what I mean? I'm giving myself
Okay.
time to decompress and to, leave things alone. So when I met my wife, I told her, I was like, look, this has happened. I do still, keep in contact with her because obviously we were together 7 years, so we're still trying to. I kept in contact a lot with her after,
Mhm.
um, until my wife like, like no, and it wasn't because of her, it was because of the kids. So I
Okay.
raised the kids for 7 years. Whenever when I met her, they were like 1 and 3. When I left her, they were like 11. You know what I mean? So like their whole childhood, that's all they knew. Like,
Yeah.
and their father was never around. You know what I mean? So I kind of
Yeah.
felt like that was like, damn, you know what I mean? I need to. But my wife really like, listen, bro, that's not your responsibility. Like, I understand your heart, but you gotta, that's not gonna flow. And I was like, all
Yeah.
right, I respected it. When she told me that, I was like, cool. I drew the line.
Hmm.
I drew the line in the sand. So, and it worked. Um, but yeah, when I met her, I told her, this is what it is. She was going through her thing. She had just left the relationship too. And so it was really like on some, well, let's just hang out and see. And it's funny because music is what connected us.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it was, but first time we actually like talked on the phone, um, I heard Kanye West in the background. It was a song "Good Morning" by Kanye West,
Yeah.
and I was like, hold on, listen, is that Kanye? And she's like, yeah, that's my guy. And then I played the radio, and it was playing like
Oh,
my song.
wow.
I was playing the same song, and I'm like, yo, this is
Wow.
crazy. So she was like, yeah. So we started talking, and then it was just little by little, and then what then it's crazy because I've never had like, well, like I went into the relationship like that so fast, like, you know what I mean? Like it like
What
but within like
what made you like,
um
I don't know. I feel like a lot of guys they're closed. You know what I mean? Like, and again, it depends on the type of guy that you meet because not all guys are the same.
yeah,
But what made you? And a lot of guys just feel like they don't want to just open up to a female. While a lot of females are sitting here and we're wondering, well, you know, is it something that I need to do? Is it something that I need to position myself? Do I need to be more softer? Like, what is it that I need to do? Do like what vibes do I need to give off? Whereas I know for a fact that sometimes guys just more so than not, the conversations that I hear is just that they just know, like they just have a feeling, like they just
yeah,
know. But then there are some guys who are analytical about it, and it's just like I watch the way that she cared for such and such, or I
yeah,
watched how she treated such and such. So it's like, what is it that gets a guy wide open, or is that
yeah.
just like a conversation that's just
I
individualized?
think every guy thinks like that, first of all.
Hmm.
Um the difference is that there's some people that are going to accept certain things, and there's other
Yeah,
people that aren't going to accept it. You know what I mean? Just like, and it's vice versa. There's certain things and
yeah,
qualities and characteristics that women will accept from a man, but then there's other ones that are like zero tolerance. Like, nope,
right.
not going to deal with it. So it's really on the person. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I think for me, if my wife was standing in front of me and I said that, she'd be like, you a goddamn liar. And I'm like, I'll be like,
No,
I
say
was a
it,
bit of like
say it.
a hopeless romantic. You know what I mean? In my mind,
Yeah,
like I remember when I was young and I was a teenager, like I was always like,
yeah,
I was always trying to, you know what I'm saying? Be like, what's
yeah,
that? Like,
yeah.
Chris Brown was that guy. You feel me? Like, to
Yes.
me, like I was like, you saw how Chris Brown was, like that was like, yo, that's me with the rose and everything. You know what I mean? Um, and that's how it was. But when I met her, it was because, like I said, we just vibe, and I liked her. She's spicy. She's a Sag. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay.
And I'm a Virgo, so we
Oh
clash a
God.
lot. Yeah,
Oh
see,
God.
so we clash.
No,
So
I'm just
me
playing.
saying that, no. But me saying that, you understand?
I
Like, um,
do.
we're
So
stubborn. We're
listen.
stubborn.
So listen. Lay it out on the line.
Yeah,
When you say that, and I know because
yeah,
you know
yeah.
that's who you are.
It's
How
just,
difficult is it dealing with a Virgo? Like I mean,
I think I think what it is, we're very and it can come off brash. I think
yeah,
sometimes we just don't deal with stupid. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna deal with stupid. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I think a lot of us is like, yo, this is common sense shit. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
why are we
yeah,
even talking about it? And we're grounded. We're earth signs. So like
yeah,
for us, it's like I stand on business. I stand on what I say.
yeah.
Like, and a lot of times in this marriage, I've learned that I need to stop sometimes, and I have to be like, damn, I can't be set in my ways all the
There,
time, and it's an
there,
internal
there you
battle.
go. There
It's an
you go.
internal battle. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's an internal battle
yeah,
that sometimes sometimes it does come out, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And she catches it, now more so she'll be like, my bad, you know what I mean? I know you're
Yeah.
overwhelmed by it, but this is what it
Yeah.
is. You know what I mean? And I'll be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
damn. Yeah, I'll be
And
like,
let
all
me
right,
stop.
man, you
I
got
don't.
it.
Yeah.
Like you
Let me stop.
got
Let me
it.
put a disclaimer here. I don't want to, sound all like I'm bashing Virgos. I'm not.
Yeah,
Virgos are dope people.
yeah, we
And I just think people
are.
are people. You just have to mesh well with who you mesh well
Yeah,
with. So let me just put that disclaimer out there.
yeah. She but yeah, like I don't know, man. To me, like I always said, she was like the yin and my yang. So like
Yeah.
there's certain I'm not a very as a Virgo, we tend to be very like meticulous about certain shit. Um, and I love the kitchen. People who know me, I love cooking. So like
Okay.
even with dinner and stuff, like I try to like let her do her thing, but sometimes I'll be in there like, let me see this, and she be like, man, get out. You know what I mean? Like get out, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah.
I can't help it. It's just second nature. That's how I
Yeah.
am. Um,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a learning curve. You have to learn and to adapt. And I'm still, like I said, I had a conversation with my father not too long ago, and
Yeah.
he said, brother, I'm still learning your mom. Like we still like, I'll talk to my mom, me and my mother like this,
Yeah.
and she'll be like, oh, your dad gets on my damn nerves. Like I'm gonna divorce him. And I'm like, shut up, man. Like you've been married 40 something years. Like you ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere.
Cut that out. Like, but you know what I mean? But that's to me, it's like I think that's like the beauty in it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you learn to love somebody even though you don't like them. You know what I mean? And in the moment, in the heat of
That's
the moment,
yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
like each other. Like,
Yeah.
there've been times where I'll be like, anybody else, I tell all like, man, anybody else would have been left. You know what I mean? Like, well, but you have to learn that sometimes when you react emotionally, sometimes it's not the best way to react.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta really think about things in a different sense. And I'm learning that way more now. I say probably in the last year, I ain't even gonna lie. Like in the last
Yeah.
year, I've legit like I'm on this like journey right now that I'm trying to like completely change who I am as far as my way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, people don't believe in generational curses, and I'm a firm believer in generational
Yeah.
curses. And I said something so like last year on one of the shows that we recorded, that I
Mm-hmm.
said we tend to a lot of times people don't understand that the generational curse is nothing but a decision or a non-decision that your parents or their parents were afraid to make or not make. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how you
Mm-hmm.
break those. That's how you break it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, oh
Yeah.
my, you was afraid to push that button. I'm gonna push that button. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna show you what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um, we a lot of us weren't taught financial literacy. A lot of us weren't taught the importance of credit. A lot of us weren't taught, we coming, what I'm saying, from Hispanic and black families, bro. Like you learn work,
Work.
and work and get there and build seniority, and eventually you can retire 40 years later.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
what? You know what I mean? It's like, so
Yeah.
it's something that I appreciate about the newer generation, because the newer generation is like, I gotta do what? Nah, bro, y'all got me fucked up. Like,
Look.
nah. And we was talking about that too. We said that it's definitely something that we can learn from each other,
Yeah. Yeah.
bridging gaps. Because these new jits, they know how to make money out of nothing.
They do.
You
They
know what I
do.
mean? And
They
but they
do.
don't have the resources. A lot of times they don't have the resources, and they don't have the muscle behind it, which we got the muscle. We don't have the know-how. You know what I mean? They have the
Yes.
know-how. And I think
Yes.
that if you know what I mean, us as a community and a culture, learn to bridge those gaps, I think it would definitely be something that's beneficial for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, back to
And
the question.
no, no, you're good.
Yeah, listen, I tend to.
No, you're good. Like you've explained it. I just, I'm a sucker for like a soppy love story, or it doesn't have to be soppy, but like I'm very, very interested. When a man just decides I want to settle down with this woman, and for me, I'm always intrigued by that. Like, the qualities. Like, how did you? Because I feel like in previous conversations, it's like I feel like in previous conversations, it's like, do men prepare themselves? Like,
Nah,
you just go in nilly willy, like I'm going off of this feeling, how I feel,
yeah.
or is it like I gotta prepare myself
Sometimes,
for it?
so I will say this. Sometimes I think when you find your match and shit, you can't do. You know what I mean? Like you
Gotcha.
just gotta let that. It just it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like we sat down with Boss Fest. Shout out to Kevin and Edwina, and I was
Yeah.
laughing. I was laughing in my mind. I'm sitting there watching them and how they interact, and I'm dying inside because I'm like, yo, like this is dope. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, y'all don't talk cash shit to each other, sitting right across the
Real
way.
talk.
But I like it. You know what I mean? I like the vibe, and you can see sometimes how my
Yeah.
boy be like, no, like this is what it is, and then she be like, sit your ass down. He be like, man, all right.
Exactly.
You know what I
Like
mean?
I'm
All
telling you,
right.
when I had them on my podcast,
Yo,
like I was just like, like, yo, I don't know how other people see your relationship, but I brought you on here because to me, I feel like you guys are the perfect example of
yeah,
like
yeah,
opposites
absolutely.
attract. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like, people in your circle have to tell you that I just don't see you with anybody else. Like
yeah,
y'all are just
yeah,
made for
y'all,
each other. Cause
yeah,
I'm like,
y'all,
y'all, it's just like, yeah, y'all two are just made for each other. Cause I don't know if anybody else is gonna put up with what y'all put up
yeah,
with one another. And it's not necessarily put up with, but like how you described it, I think it's interesting, but then you see and you feel that connection, that true connection that they have. So
yeah.
I'm so glad that you
That's
brought them
true.
up. And then Donald pitched for
Yeah.
me to have them again on
Oh
my podcast. And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like
They
we need
dope.
to. We're gonna
They're
talk about
dope.
Boss Fest
Yeah,
anyway,
they're dope.
but we're just gonna talk about their dynamic because they have a unique
It's a
dynamic. And
unique
I used to
dynamic.
like watching them.
That's how
Yeah, I used to
you know.
like watching them on the podcast that they were on, like, and she would be talking back and forth to him. I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all
That's how
are
me. Listen, that's
comedy.
how my wife and I are. That's how my. It's like we can go anywhere to the grocery store and be like, man, shut your ass up. She'll be like, what? What you said? And you know,
See,
like people will
listen,
be laughing. I'm like, I love you. Yeah, all right.
listen.
But it's listen. She
Yeah,
she was the
I
one.
like those types of conversations,
Yeah,
like in those types of relationships. But you got to have the right
yeah,
one, baby. Because to
yeah,
talk to me like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
you got to be
yeah,
him. Do you hear what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll flex. Listen, we'll flex. We'll flex. Like, I mean, there'll be times I'll be sitting, I'll talk shit, and I'll be like doing something, and I'll be under my breath, and I'll be like, man, she'll come right here in my face, and be like, what you said?
I
And
know
I'll
that.
be like, hey, listen. And in my mind, right, in my mind, I'm like, man, if this was anybody else, boy, like you right. I mean, I feel
Right.
all of that right here. But then in that moment, I just look at her and be like, man, you get on my nerve, dog.
Right.
Like, golly, you can't do nothing but laugh about it. When we ended up
Yes.
getting married, it's funny because I was telling her the other day, like, when we finally talked, I told her I was like, I'm gonna be on Jazzy show, man, and I said, she was like, what are y'all gonna talk about? And when I told her, she was like, what? And I was like, yeah. She's like, make sure you tell her too that I'm the one that made sure we got us married. And I'm like, I like
Listen.
I like
Listen. So
she
let's
listen
go.
when
Like,
we
how was she the one? I want to hear this.
she listen when we would always talk about different things like we would talk about everything for hours and hours. When you first start
Yeah.
in relationship, that's the Betty Crocker phase
Yes.
where you baking and caking up all the time and
Yes.
talking. And we would talk about different things in life, and we learned that we both love traveling. Like that was a big thing.
Yeah.
Now we got kids, we still try to incorporate that. It's different. It's
Yeah.
definitely different because now it's not
Yeah.
turn up and buy, but we can turn up a little bit. You know what I mean? We can turn up a little bit. And so it's unique, but we had a bunch of things that we liked, and even though like marriage was obviously something that we talked about, we never really talked about like us marrying each
Yeah.
other. We were always talking about how marriage is something that we both wanted. Like ultimately,
Mhm.
I don't understand why people, I always tell people like, when you date to marry. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I've never, if you out here just hunching, then just do that. You know what I mean? Like I never
Yes.
understood it. You know what I mean? Like if this is all you want, let
Yeah.
it be known. and don't, because that's one how you got all these problems that are
That's right.
created. That's how you get those, clingers, stage 5 clingers,
Yeah.
because you sitting there telling them what they want to hear, vice versa. And then, you're filling a person's hopes and dreams up, and then all you was a piece of meat. You
Yeah,
know what
because
I mean?
it's like that shit
And
ain't
it
adding up.
and
Like
it
you
didn't
said
have
this
to
to be
be.
that ain't adding up.
Yeah, and it didn't have to be like that. All you had to do was
Right.
keep it from jump.
Yes.
So when she and I had spoke, I told her, I was like, um, I'm a relationship guy. You know what I mean? She's like, get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, I mean, I love women. Don't get me wrong. I was like, but
Yeah.
I'm a relationship guy. Like to me,
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I don't. I don't want to be out here. First of all, everybody in these streets. If you're from Polk County, chances are somebody's crossed paths with somebody you've crossed paths with. So
Yeah.
I'm very like super meticulous. I've always been outside of Polk. I live outside of Polk. I don't even want to know
I
what's
just
what's. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
can
even
I
want to
just
know
tell
your
you
background.
that this is reason number 1,206 as to why
Yeah,
I'm single because I
yeah,
just whole county
yeah,
dating. I'm just like I don't like to have I don't like for you to say, oh, I used to talk to him too. I don't like
yeah,
I I just have a thing about that. Like
yeah.
cause that just really does something to me. I like I'm like okay
it just
next.
yeah, because then you start watching mannerisms when they around each other, like, oh yeah, I saw you do that, like and then it starts them gears turning, and you don't want them gears turning. But
Yeah,
I
so yeah,
never,
but I digress.
I
Okay.
yeah, I stopped, man. I started searching outside of Polk County years ago, and
Yeah,
like I
I
said,
need a
she was from
transplant. I need somebody that
yeah,
came from up north and
yeah,
is down here that don't nobody
completely,
know.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like my wife, like it's funny because a lot of times when she and I go to talking, I'll tell her like, you really don't know my background.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, and she's like, well, yeah, I know because you told me, and I'm like, you only know as much as I let you know. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like, you don't really know.
yeah,
It's like I remember growing up, my father would always say like, you don't want to know the old me, and I never understood that shit until I got older, and there was an
yeah,
old me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I understood it, but she literally like we would talk about marriage, we talk about kids. To her it's funny because she'll sit here and send me screenshots where she'd post something on Facebook like 10 years ago. She'll be like, oh, I'll
yeah,
probably never have kids, and here she go with 2 kids. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
she's like, damn, like she's like, it's crazy what how God, you know what I mean, like puts you in a place, and when it's meant to happen,
yeah,
it's meant to happen. I said my kids, my daughter's 16, she's gonna be 17. My youngest daughter now is 4. So you're talking about 12 years. I went almost 13 years with no other kids.
yeah,
Like so people be like, damn, bro, you started all over again. I try to tell people like it was intentional. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I didn't do that like out of happenstance. Like it wasn't,
yeah.
I can't sit here and say, oh shit, you pregnant. Nah, bro. Like, and I called it out both times, like, oh, you pregnant. And she was like, what? And I'm like, you're pregnant. She's like,
Okay.
bullshit. And I'm like, go ahead. And sure enough, she was pregnant. And
Wow.
look at
Wow.
my brother. That's my
Why do
brother's
you
child, the
why do you
June
say
brother.
that? Why do you say that it wasn't? I know you're saying it's not happenstance because you really wanted it, but why? Is it just because you wanted something together with
Um,
her?
no, I mean, I saw how she was as a person, and how she was with my kids. Like to me, like I just told her this the other day. Like I can't tell you how many relationships I've allowed to dissolve because of my kids. Like I'm not. To me, it's like my kids first. Like I don't care. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Oh, you don't like my kids? Like you know what I mean? Like we're not even gonna have conversation about that. If you can't accept that, you don't accept me. Like period. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
On the
So
flip to that, did you ask your kids about her? Like did you sit your kids down and talk to them about the fact that you wanted to marry her or that you wanted to place her in their lives?
so my daughter lives with us now. She's been living with us for the last 2 years, 3 years. So full time. And my son, like I said, he's grown. He's gonna be 19 years old.
Yeah.
So he's doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Um, but I remember I remember when I knew she was the like who I was gonna marry. My daughter, it was Mother's Day 4 years ago, and my daughter wrote her a card, a Mother's Day card, and she was
Mhm.
like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. You know what I mean? Like,
Aww.
thank you for this, thank you for that. And I'm like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
to my daughter, you know what I mean? To say something like that to me was like, okay, shit, like maybe, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
my mom, I'm a big mama's boy, and like my mom is a typical old school Puerto Rican shit talking mom, and
Yeah.
she will legit. I remember bringing exes around, and she'd be like, "Oh, I don't like her," and
Yeah.
she made it known. Like even though like you can come in the house and
Yeah.
you can come eat, and she gonna talk shit right in front of you. She an Aries, so she gonna
Yes.
talk cash shit, and she gonna be like, "I said what
Mm-mm.
I said. Yeah, I said what I said. Like,
Yeah.
what you gonna do?"
Right.
And this was like the first person that I brought home to mom. That my mom was like, "I love her," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah." She's like, and she'll say it to this day. She's like, "You know why I love her?" And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Because she set you straight." Like
Okay.
she said, "I can finally go to sleep with peace in my mind. Like my son's good." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was a Rolling Stone. Like it was always problems. You know what I mean? And I grew up. I'm a hothead. I was very, like I made decisions like on the drop of a
Yeah.
dime, emotionally. And I had to learn, and with my wife, I tend to not want to make irrational decisions. You know what I mean? I don't want to make it because
Yeah.
I know how it's gonna end. You know what I mean? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed somebody strong that had a strong character because I have a very strong character, and my whole family says like, "Yo, she the one,
That's
bro,"
the
because
one.
she, oh yeah, like I like listen, my family come, I be like, "Hold on, I'll be back." Like, "Hey, babe," you know what I'm saying? Like, and then be like, "Yeah, bro," like, "Yeah," you
I
know what I'm
know that's
saying?
right.
Yeah, look, that's my brother on there, June, but he said, "Mom knows what's
Lon
best." I'm telling
knows
you.
what's best.
Um,
Listen, Saint, tell the people out here that you did just dispel it because your boys putting you out there talking about you was a stripper and all this other stuff.
nah, I was never a gigolo. I don't know what he talking about. I never did that.
Okay.
But I was in these streets.
You was in the street.
I was in
You was
these
in the
streets.
streets. Was in
I
the
was
street
for the streets.
until your wife
But
was like,
was it? And thanks to the Lord, God, nah, because only God, nah. Um, yeah, but
I know that's right.
man, I remember talking about it, and I started getting the hint one day because I remember one day we went to the mall, we went to Westfield Mall, and we were
Yeah.
walking through there, and I'm like, "Babe, let's hit Zales real quick, or let's hit the jewelry store." She's like, "For what?" I'm like, "Man, let's just go look at this shit real quick." And so we went in there,
Yes.
and bro, like I mean, she don't ain't no bullshit. She ain't need no earrings. I don't need a bracelet. I don't need I don't need none of that shit. We gonna come get this ring. And she walked and she was like, "Oh, that's the ring you're gonna get me." And I'm like, "What? What you said?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one." And I'm like, "All right." And then I remember, I remember like, man, when we finally started really like talking about it, I was like, "What's
Yeah.
up? We gonna do this shit or what?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Fuck it, let's do it," because
Yeah.
we had a thing with dates. So
Okay.
our son, my daughter, she was born on 9/19/19, which is crazy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Then my
Yeah.
son was born 2 years later, 9/21/21. So their birthdays are 2 days
Wow.
apart, 2 years apart, 2 days, and they
Yeah.
both had the same exact due dates. They
Yeah.
both so it's crazy. She got pregnant at the same time and gave birth at the same time within 2 days, within
What
two
y'all
years.
doing during that time? Like,
Yeah,
look.
yeah. So
Yeah.
she she got pregnant both times, and like I was like, okay, so my daughter was 19/19, my son was 21/21, and when we went to talking about it, I said, let's go get married 2/22/22. She was like, let's do it. So we got married
Yeah.
2/22/22. So we just
You just
we
celebrated
just celebrated our
anniversary.
anniversary. Yeah. And I tell you, it's crazy how time that
Yeah.
how it just flies. You don't even realize it. But it was dope. We got married.
Yeah.
I asked her, I was like, "You want a big what? Like, how do you want it?" And she was like, "Bro, we can go we can go around the corner. Like, you know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta. I ain't worried about nobody. Like, this is us. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, like, and so when we finally did do it, we did something very, you know what I mean, very very private,
Yeah.
very intimate, and it was just like, family and immediate family and friends, and my coworker, he's an ordained minister, so he married us, and we got married in Hollis Garden.
Oh,
Um,
that's
yeah, in
pretty.
Lakeland,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's it. It was like, you know what, we're gonna do it, and we there. We have our own battles. I will say this: people don't understand that piece of paper changes a lot of shit, and when
Yeah.
they say that, it changes a lot of shit. It really does.
Listen, cause
It's
speak
not
to
for
it,
the
cause I
weak.
was like, some people, when people say that marriage is a business, like I wasn't saying it in a derogatory way,
No,
but I'm like,
no,
this
it's
is
it's
a
true.
business.
It's true because you got to understand, as a single person, you can go have a kid with somebody, and that's all you
Right.
got. Like, that's all you got. You just got a kid. When you get married, everything is everybody's. You know what I mean? Like, and you legit, um, you have a say so in everything. Like, there's things that you can't sit here and say, well, I got it. Like, you'll be like, what you mean I got? Nah, like, I literally, I used to always talk shit about my boys who used to be married, who are married, and would be like, oh, I gotta talk to my wife, and I'm like, damn, bro, like, why you gotta talk to her? Like, you the man, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
and now, as a married man,
Yeah.
I understand that. I understand what that means. You know what I mean? And so anytime I have to make a decision, anytime, like, anything, like, I literally
Yeah.
run it by my partner. Like, I tell her, hey, look, what you think about this? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And sometimes she'll be like, go for it. Sometimes she'll be like, that's stupid. And
Yeah.
then I'll be like, damn, for real? She'll be
Yeah.
like, yeah. And I'm like, you know what? That is kind of stupid. Like,
That
you know
is
what I
kind of
mean? Let
stupid.
me,
Yeah.
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 And you literally have to, that little piece of paper, I would say it almost gives like a sense of entitlement,
Hmm.
a sense of responsibility and obligation, that you legit have to understand. Like, you can't just make any damn decision. You
Yeah.
can't, because that decision is going to affect the other person, period. Whether you like
Hmm.
it, whether you don't like it. Um, and that's something that I've definitely had to learn to adjust to. And because I've always been the person, I'm gonna make the move, and that's it.
Yeah.
My dad, my brother can attest to that.
Yeah.
My dad would say, "Look, my brother said, and preparing me for my marriage. He's getting married in April. We're going to
Congrats.
Colombia. Yeah, we're going to
Oh,
Colombia next week for his bachelor party.
yo, that's gonna be
Yeah,
so dope.
yeah, man,
Okay.
it's gonna be fun. But
Go ahead.
I definitely see why people say that it changes things, because it does change things to a point where you have to communicate certain things, and if you don't communicate, it's gonna be felt. Like, it's gonna be
Yeah.
known. You know what I mean? Like, the
Yeah.
house, like, the energy changes everything, and it's very important. So
What do
I've
you
learned to definitely change.
what do you say, like, with the change? Because I've been looking at some of the comments down here, and people have been congratulating you on your
Appreciate
growth,
it. Appreciate it.
and and just that positive aspect of it. But is it what's so great about marriage? Because you said you don't understand how people just kind of, you're shacking up, or you're just
Yeah.
together, you're around here
Yeah.
hunching and all of that good stuff, and you're not really being intentional with it. What's so great about marriage? Like,
It's
what's great about it?
challenging.
Because you have some people that's just like, no, never ever again. Like
So,
the La La Anthony's of the world. What's great
yeah,
about marriage?
it's challenging. People don't understand, if you're in the right marriage, it's not gonna challenge you to be worse. It's gonna challenge you to
The
become better.
right
Yeah.
marriage. The right marriage.
Um,
Yeah.
it's definitely something that, like, when I started a podcast with the guys, like, I ran it by my wife, and she was like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
and I was like, hey, I don't want to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't like being in front of everybody. And she was like, nah, but it's okay, because you speak, and you love talking and having dialogue with people. And I'm like, you know what? Try it out.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's wonderful, and it's therapeutic. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
it's very therapeutic to me. But it's challenging. Everything, the marriage in itself is your partner. If you're with the right partner, they're gonna challenge you to be better. They're not going
Yeah.
to challenge you in a way that it's gonna make you feel, um, how can I say, like lesser of a man. It's not gonna make you feel. They're gonna legit test you and put you through the fire because you have no choice, bro. Like you have no
Yeah.
choice. Like this is
Yeah.
us. You know what I mean? Like, um, it's in them situations. You think about it, it can be it's make or break. There's a lot of choices and decisions in marriages that are make or break.
Yeah.
And it could be everything from finance to living situations to what to buy, what to not buy. It's a lot of little things that you as a single person don't think, bro. Like something simple as the toothpaste. What toothpaste you gonna buy? Like which, what? It's like real, like, and you would think that it's very like small and minimal, but it's important. You know what I mean? It's
It is.
important to the other person.
Yeah.
And if you don't, if you don't do it, then it shows to them like, damn, that person doesn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that accountability factor when you're married is definitely something that's like it's
Yeah.
pushed. You know what I mean? And I think both parties push
Yeah.
each other like accountability wise.
So listen, I kind of want to end it like on a GOAT moment. Like,
Okay.
I feel that, like I was telling you, when you say that you feel that marriage is going to be great when you're in the right marriage. And I was
Mm-hmm.
telling you that I like looking at couples and I love getting that perception that I really don't feel like anything could come between those two because those two are solid. Like I can
Mm-hmm.
see that that's them. Like nothing is going to penetrate it.
Yeah.
And so with that, because when I get married, I want to be able to be the GOAT about something. Like I want to
Yeah.
be able to brag and say, there is no
Yeah.
woman that's going to ever do such and such like
Yeah.
I do. And so when you think about that, because I feel like you talk shit to your
Oh
wife and you've already said that
yeah. I
y'all
love
do.
it. Yeah. We
When you
talk shit.
when you think about like that factor, like that thing that you bring, what is it about you where you're like, yo, you will never get this into another or out of another man because I do this for you and nobody's gonna do this like me.
So I tell my wife, first of all, ain't no man gonna throw down on the pots like me. She'll say it. She'll be like, bro, I ain't never had nobody like throw down like nobody like that. That is it. Like I'll tell her, yo, if you ever leave me, you leaving the food too. You leaving the dinners. You leaving all of that. You know what I mean?
All right.
Um, so nah, but I think honestly, she commends my loyalty. She tells
Yeah.
me one thing that she's like, of the people I've been with, the relationships I've been with, and been in, I've never had somebody as loyal as you. Um, like to the point that it doesn't matter if I'm pissed off at her, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if I'm mad at her. At the end of the day, that's her. You know what I mean? That's
Yep.
her. And
Yep.
my loyalty, and not only to my marriage, a lot of people who know me personally know that my loyalty runs deep. Once it's there, once that's established, like you got me for life.
Yeah.
I'm a lifer. Um, so my loyalty, I don't think she'll ever never find that. And then she also says that I'm strong enough also to, you know what I mean, to put her in not in her place. I don't believe to put
Yeah.
her in her place.
Yeah.
But strong enough to let her know like, hey, chill.
To offer correction.
Yeah, like yeah,
Yeah.
like let's not do
Guidance.
that. Um,
Yes.
and I'm a book to her. So there's a lot of times where we'd be having dialogue and she'd be like, bro, you teach me so many things.
Yes.
She's like, even things that I don't want to know. Like you
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
like she's like, I'll never ever be like you never cease to amaze me in terms of like just things that your knowledge. And so yeah, should like I feel like I'm a goat when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
I'm I'm a man and I'm an unapologetic
I
man.
know
You know what I mean?
that's
And I
right.
feel like
Yeah.
um, it's important these days because a lot of with society today, I feel like they try to take away masculinity a
Yeah.
lot and try to demonize masculinity, and it shouldn't be demonized. You know what I
Right.
mean? I feel like a strong man is a strong man, but a conscious strong man isn't going to be offensive. He's not going to be,
Right.
aggressive. He's not going to be You know, it's not gonna ever be in a way where it offends anybody or hurts anybody. It's gonna be an authority that's, you know, he's authoritative and he speaks and it's assertive and you respect it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You walk with authority.
Yeah.
You walk with authority, and that's just how I am. And she'll never find that. Not in today. What you said? Not in today's pool that's full of piss. Nah, you ain't gonna find that.
Not No, listen, no,
Crazy.
you got to give me hope. I got to get hope. You know, I feel like it's somebody out there that has
There
not yet
is.
stepped in the pool.
Not there
Like, I
is.
truly believe that.
I think
Like, yeah.
I think single women and this is real quick. I think a lot of times, well, the problem that a lot of single women tend to have these days is that they overthink certain
Hmm.
things. Um,
Hmm.
like earlier we were talking, you said, you know, you question yourself, like, is it me? What is it? Like, don't, you know what I mean? Like, y'all ever wonder, and I don't mean
I
this
said
stuff.
that.
Yeah, you said like, you
I'm
know,
just
is there
playing. I'm just
something?
playing.
No, but you ever like, you know how when people be like, yo,
Yeah.
you be in public, and not to offend anybody because I'm a
Yeah.
big boy. You
Yeah.
know, you be like, dang man, like that man's so fine, and he got this big girl, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he just
Yeah.
happy, or vice versa. You got this fine
Yeah.
ass woman with this big boy, you know, this unattractive, what you know society deems as, you know what
Hmm.
I mean?
All
And
the time.
people don't understand that it's not it's not certain, like, don't overthink it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? A lot of times people
Yeah.
tend to overthink, and you kind of psych yourself out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As men, we internalize a lot of stuff, and we don't speak on a lot of emotion. We don't speak
Right.
on everything. So it's, you know, I have times where I tell my wife, like, ain't shit about you. Like, this ain't about you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's us. It's me in my head. And there's times where I have to stop and be like, hey babe, it's not you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm just in my head at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not doing nothing wrong. Like, get that, you know, take that off your shoulders. Don't stress that. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
know women tend to do that. So as a suggestion to single women, um, don't worry about it. Don't go to
Yeah.
question him and be like, oh, you know, is it me? Like, men hate that. You know what I mean? We hate
Yeah.
that. It's not you. You know what I mean? You know how
Yeah.
it's not you. It's me.
It's
It's
me.
me. And a lot of times it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could just you know, there's somebody for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer in that there's somebody for everybody. Um, and I wasn't looking when I found my wife. I was not looking, bro. Like,
Oh, you know what? This whole time I was like, I wonder. I no lie.
yeah,
I wondered. I was like, I wonder if he's gonna say
I
that
wasn't
tried and
looking.
true method
Yeah.
that I
Don't
wasn't
look.
looking.
Don't
Yeah.
look. Yeah, I wasn't looking. It was
Yeah.
something that happened organically, and I'm thankful for it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
tell her she's my headache, and I love her, and I'll tell her to her face, and until the day I die. You know what I mean? I love her because
Yeah.
she holds a special place in my heart, and will always hold that place in my heart. Like, because I wasn't looking, and when she found me, and when we found each other, it was like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, it's what I've been missing. Like, this is what I
Yeah.
needed. You know what I mean? I never had nobody to motivate me to, you know, because like I said, I love traveling. It was never realized until she came into the picture. You know, like, to
Yeah.
me, it was
Yeah.
always a dream. You know, you go
Hmm.
through Instagram and you see all these beautiful pictures of places, and you're like, damn, you know, man, I want to go there. And then I met her, and it was like, so why don't you?
Yeah.
And that actually got
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? And then when I'm like, okay, and then we booked the first trip, and I'm like, oh shit, booked the second trip, and then boom, now it's like, y'all, like, now it's like,
It's a
damn, you know what
thing.
I mean? She
Yeah.
got me to think outside of my
Yeah.
thoughts,
You in
and that,
Columbia next
yeah,
week, right?
yeah, but you know, it's
Yeah.
and we're trying to shoot for Germany in September because, like I said, that's where she was born, so we're
That's where
trying
she's
to,
from. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm trying to see what that's
That's
like.
awesome.
But yeah, it's organic. Don't go looking.
Yeah.
I think
You said
when,
some things. You literally have said some great things like and honestly for me for this show I said I know I always end it with like relational things, but sometimes I just like I need like that masculine energy. like from wherever it comes from. And I love to just have a conversation with stand-up guys, because sometimes what you are saying, you're speaking from experience, but you're also speaking as a man who's doing it, who's living it, and not just putting on for a pod
Yeah,
to get a good sound
yeah,
bite and all of this good stuff. Like, I can't tell you, it just drives me insane. I'm like, yo, stop talking about relationships like if you really have no bearing or no base, or like a basis to even
yeah.
tell people what to do. And so I appreciate this conversation, and I'm gonna go back to something that Lou said when we were supporting Marshina, and you took that picture of me and Lou,
Hmm.
and I'm like, damn, look at how he's taking the picture. He's like, yo, that nigga wife taught him how to.
Yeah,
He's like, yo,
yeah,
his
yeah. You gotta
wife
get the
taught him how
feet.
to do that. Like,
Yeah, you gotta get the
I just
feet.
look at you, I'm
Everything.
like, you take the best pictures.
Yeah.
Like, what? So shout out to the wife on that, because I'm like,
Yeah,
I looked at you, I was
facts.
like, oh yeah, he
Yeah,
married. Yeah, he got somebody.
she emphasized, make sure you get the feet. Make sure you get the feet. And I'm like, what? And she's like, bro, the feet, the whole head to toe,
Right.
and get the background. You're like, all right. But it's
I was
definitely, man,
like,
organic, man.
listen.
That shit works, man.
Oh, when
The
I saw
wife
you
the wife
take
is
that picture, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, it's a wrap.
wifey
Like, he,
wifey has taught me a lot of shit. She's taught me a
yeah,
lot of shit. Stuff that I would have never really I would have never even cared for. That now that I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? I'll be sitting my ass down watching Housewives and shit sometimes. Like,
no, right.
damn, no way, no, 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 like, you know what I'm saying? But
But she got you
it's
watching 50 plus episodes of Who Did I Marry on
man, listen,
TikTok.
we watch a whole bunch of stuff, and you know what? It's the simplest things, man. We'll sit
Yeah,
there and just watch,
yeah,
different types of shows, and I appreciate it, man. Sometimes
yeah,
I say you gotta let that shit happen, man. I feel
yeah,
like God is gonna bring who He needs to
yeah,
bring, and sometimes everybody. I tell people don't feel bad if it didn't work out.
yeah,
Everybody is only here for a season. So once that season is over, next chapter. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
don't take it as
yeah,
don't walk around with it as baggage. You know what I mean? You don't need
hmm,
that baggage. One
yeah,
thing Taj is real strong on and hard fast on is walk with purpose.
hmm,
And that's what I feel like I'm trying to do. Like 2024, my whole ideology for me, myself personally, is walk with purpose. Everything that I'm gonna do, I need to make a decision with purpose. If there's
yeah,
no, if I don't have a purpose behind that decision, I'm not gonna make it.
yeah.
And so that's where we at.
That's
2020,
where we at.
2024,
Yeah,
everybody gonna be there.
everybody,
Yeah, you gonna be,
everybody.
yeah, we gonna look back and replay this episode too when you get married. And you'll be like,
Listen, listen, like he said it, like he told me. I wasn't
well,
looking.
I wasn't looking, and look, look, yeah, like,
I
yeah,
listen. I haven't even been looking. I haven't been scoping. Like, people ask me all the time. They're like, "We don't understand why you're still single," and I'm like, "I'm out, but I'm not out. Like, when I'm out, I'm in my own zone." And people have always told me that I carry a presence like I'm already married. Like, I literally had to argue somebody down because they thought I was already married, and I'm like,
yeah,
I am not married. Like,
yeah,
so. I just feel like that's God's covering on me,
yeah.
because I think it just shields me from like the wrong people. So I've just learned to accept whatever his plan is. I am so fine with it. But it was like probably maybe 2 or 3 years ago where I was like, I want to get married. Like, I think I want to
Yeah,
get married or whatever. And I was just like, now it's
it's
just like I kind of just go with the
it's
flow and
it's
just,
almost like
let life life.
what is it, like that biological clock? You
It
know what I
is.
mean? People be like,
I,
damn, like I'm about to be 40 years old. I need to be married already. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
biggest advice I give to men and women: find yourself and become the best version of you before
Absolutely.
you get with somebody else.
Yes.
That way, and make sure that that person is also in their best form,
Yes.
so that when you
And that's
guys
what I
get
think I'm going
together,
through. Yep.
yeah, you
That's
gotta,
dope advice.
yeah, maybe God just wants you to, fix or tweak, the small little tweaks that you
Oh,
need
I
to do,
know. Oh,
and
I
that's it.
know. I'm telling
Yeah,
you, I know that that's what it
yeah,
is, and I totally accept the
yeah.
challenge. Like that's what I'm really like. I'm excited about the journey. Like it's tough sometimes because when you really look at yourself and you're like, no, yo, you the problem right now. Like, but fix the problem. So it's like, what you're gonna do?
Absolutely.
Like you want to live, you know, without fixing it. Like you still have breath, you still have life, you still
Yeah.
have time to grow. And I think that's exactly what God is doing in this season for me. So I accept it, and I'm good with it. I want to say this, Saint, for everybody who's out there, because this entire time that you've been talking, it's something that I want to say. And I want to say this to women. I want to say this to men. You've heard in this interview a conversation about someone finding their person. And you've heard about the trials and the tribulations. You've heard about what gravitated, this man to this woman and how they work together as a team. And life is already tough
Mm-hmm.
enough. And I just don't have respect for anybody who tries to come in between a dope relationship, because we know temptation is out there. We know it's somebody that's always going to look better than your mate. It's always going
Mm-hmm.
to be somebody out there that appears to be better in some regard. And for those of you who don't have a problem with like infiltrating a marriage, like I really want you to just really take a second guess and a second look at yourself and just really see how messed up that is. I really and truly just want you to just honor people's marriages. And
Mm-hmm.
it's on my heart to say that because this shit is tough. Relationships are tough. And when somebody finds their person,
Mm-hmm.
like leave that shit alone.
Yeah, because
Like
it's
when
not gonna be
your
easy.
person when your friend finds that
Yeah.
person, like don't hate on their relationship if they are in a great nurturing relationship and this relationship has made them the best person that you've seen them be. Like nurture that, because it
Yeah.
gets tough, as he stated. Like the support group, that's when the support group and your
Yeah.
friends and all of that, that's when they're
Yeah.
supposed to rally around you. So I guess my ending point is just respect people's relationships,
Mm-hmm.
respect people's marriages.
Mm-hmm.
As we've stated several times on this podcast, there is somebody for you. So stop trying to take somebody else's somebody, because that
Yeah.
shit took work to get.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I
That's
wanted to say.
I think that's society today has downplayed marriage.
Yeah,
It made it so easy, back in the day, you think about it, like our old heads, you know what I mean? They never got
yeah,
divorced.
yeah,
They literally, bro, like it didn't even matter if they didn't want to be with each other. They still didn't get divorced. Like they
yeah,
still died together. And today, in today's society, society's made it so easy for people to just walk out. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And oh, I'm gonna leave. Like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, you don't wanna work it out. Like, you don't want to talk
yeah.
about it. You don't want to fix about it. Like, and that's what it is. We live in a microwave society. So we're in a
Hmm.
society that even with social media, you know what I mean? You get instant gratification looking at social media.
Yeah,
Oh, my partner isn't satisfying me. Hold on, let me go on my DM. You know what I'm saying? And it's that quick.
that
It's that
quick.
quick. And
Yeah,
people don't realize that marriage today isn't respected. It's not valued, and it's not held at the standard that it used to be held at
hmm,
15, 20 years ago, sadly. And I also, that we can talk about that. That's a whole nother thing, because to me, I feel like
part
the farther the world
two.
goes, yeah, bro, the farther the world goes away from God, the
Yeah,
farther the
yeah,
morality, and the farther, you know what I mean? Like that, stuff that's of God isn't acknowledged. Remember, when you make that vow to get married to somebody, it's not a commitment to just each other. You're making a vow to God. You're making a promise to God. It's under God's eyes.
right.
So, and with the society that we live in, where they're not God fearing anymore.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
People don't care about that. You know what I mean? Self gratification. What makes you feel good? You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, I do.
It's
Donald checked
very
in. He said it's a lack
it
of commitment.
is
Yeah,
absolutely lack of commitment. I said it's so easy for people to just hit the exit. You know what I mean? It's so easy for people to hit the
yeah,
exit. So
yeah,
I think I appreciated that, because I tell you I, I tell you one thing, man. The truth is,
yeah.
when you get married, I feel like, I don't know if it's something in the air. What is it? Something in the air. I
They
think
just they
I
just
think
want you now.
they
Now they want you
gravitate,
now.
they gravitate. You know what I mean? And it's like, and I'm gonna be honest, like I could take my ring off right now. Look, watch, and you'll see the
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah.
Like I don't
That and
take this
another
off.
and that's another thing.
I
Y'all
don't
wear
take
y'all
this off,
wedding
and
rings.
they don't
Wear
care,
your rings.
and they don't care. You know what I mean? Like they don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this to them is like, oh wait, and I think it's society.
Yeah.
We've learned in this society to want something that's not ours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's almost, I call it the
Yeah.
sandbox issue.
Yeah.
You know, you got that kid that
Yeah.
doesn't want to play with the toy,
Yeah.
but the minute that another kid comes in that sandbox to play with that toy,
Yeah.
oh, everybody wants this damn
Oh
toy. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And
Yep.
that's the devil trying to,
Yeah.
that's how the
I'm
devil
trying to
tries
tell
to
you.
infiltrate. But
Trying to tell
yeah,
you. Look, when
yeah.
Bay finds me, don't y'all come in my inbox. Hell, y'all saw me before don't you come in. You saw what this was before. Don't come. Don't come in my
Yeah,
inbox.
that's how they
Don't come
be.
messing up nothing now.
That's how they be, man. You know, it's a difference though. But I tell people it's a difference between healthy dialogue with people. Like you can
Yeah.
have communication. One thing that
Right.
I can say real quick, like that I appreciate about my wife is that like my exes, I would be like, oh yeah, I was talking to this girl, you know, my friend, you know, she,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, the first, yo, what? You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, bro, like,
Yeah.
um, and coming into this relationship, that
Yeah.
was one thing that I was like, I'm not gonna stop talking to friends because I burned a lot of friends and
Yeah.
relationships, like good friendships that I had just because I had a new girlfriend.
Tell
You know
me
what I mean?
about it. Tell me
And
about it.
I
Yeah.
said, you know what? I feel like this. If it's truly innocent and if it's truly healthy and if it's truly like no issue, there's nothing there, you should be able to introduce your spouse and your partner and be like, look, this is like my
Absolutely.
best friend. Like
Yeah.
this is my, you know, we're transparent about everything. They've known me for 30x years, 40 years, and like they've been a lifeline in times where I thought I was losing it, you know, and
Yeah.
I learned to appreciate those people and value those friendships way more and I appreciate her because she allows me to have those friendships. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
Like I don't trip. What I always say, hey, if they can take you, they can keep you. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't mad. You know what I mean? I ain't mad. Like go ahead, I'ma holler.
I
So I tell
love it.
her,
Look, listen,
yeah,
I love that shit. Like one of my favorite lines, like if we
uh,
would like, and I think dudes hate it when I say it, but I'm like, I'm like, listen, I can't make you. I
yeah,
can't make you do anything. Like I ain't gonna even try to make you do it. Like
yeah,
you gotta want to do it. Like when I throw that shit up there, like I think they just be like, man, Jazz, F you,
yeah,
man. Like I'm
yeah,
like I can't make. Hey, I just
yeah,
be like, I'll get in my little play a little.
yeah.
Hey partner,
Yeah, they said like
I
man,
can't
play
make you.
yeah,
I
play a
can't
little.
make.
I ain't mad at you,
I,
play. Do your thing.
I can't make you.
Hey, keep that same energy now. Keep that same energy. Like make sure. Yeah, that's definitely man. Like today,
Look,
man.
you
Today,
show
man.
you show because
Yeah,
listen, this
yeah,
Scorpio vibes over
yeah,
here. Now you better make sure you're sure.
yeah. Make sure you know. Make sure you know what water you want to tread. But yeah, it's definitely a vibe, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate everything, man. This conversation's been dope.
absolutely,
I
it
said
has. I
I
appreciate
talked to wifey
your
and she
time.
was
Like
like,
you clocked out and clocked right back in. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
yeah, listen, I've learned to do that with the cast, man, with the
Yeah,
podcast life.
yeah,
People don't understand how much we sacrifice from our
yes,
families.
yeah,
Um, and there's a lot of times
yeah,
where I remember there was a week when we Lou watching and he can attest. There was a week, man,
yeah,
we were slammed. I mean, it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like my wife was like, "Damn, bro, like I haven't seen
yeah,
you all week," and you're
yeah.
like, "I'm sorry." You know what I
It's,
mean? Like, I'm
it's the
sorry, but
pod. It's the
I'm a,
pod.
I'm on this grind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I'm not looking right now. I'm looking 15 years from now, 5, 10 years from now,
Yeah.
3 years from now. Like, I'm not worried about today. Like, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? I'm not worried about tomorrow. Like, I'm worried about 10 years down the road. Like, when we sitting back, you know what I mean? Admiring a view. You know what I'm saying? And be like,
Listen. Listen.
yeah,
Syndicated. We
yeah,
good.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey. Hey, you remember this? Remember when
Listen.
we had it? Like you remember, right? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
where we at. And that's, and I'm gonna speak that into existence for everybody and
Absolutely.
manifest that for
Absolutely.
everybody who touch us, talk to us. If you interact with us, I'm speaking that into
Yeah.
we're moving forward and we moving up. And
Y'all
like I
are
said, I
dope.
value these relationships.
Y'all are
I
dope.
appreciate that.
You are dope, and that support system, that support is magnificent. Like you guys rallied around me like I had never seen like another, someone who has a podcast do. And I'm like, yo, I have not even really set in the same atmosphere as you guys, but I truly appreciate like that support that I've gotten from you guys. Like I truly do, and I want to, publicly say that.
Guys, we
And
appreciate it.
so, definitely thank you for that. I do want to, because other people shot me out on their podcast, so I want to take this time to do that for them. So, Jazzy
Absolutely.
Conversations with Jazz, is on Monday, and then we
Absolutely.
turn right around on Wednesday, and Wednesday is just like that day, because you got Madam Walker
Yeah.
with Talk It Out,
Yeah.
Ladies in Motion. You have Marshina. Is
Marshina,
Marshina
talks
on?
to chat.
Marshina's on
Yeah, chat
Thursday.
with China.
You
Yeah.
have
No, Marshina's
no,
on
she's on
Wednesday. She on
Wednesday.
Wednesday. We're
She used to be on
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
So you have Marshina.
Yeah.
Actually, you have Boss Fest
Yeah.
that
Also,
that comes on, and then you have Marshina with Chat with China. Then
uh,
you have the This, That, and the Other
on Thursday
podcast.
night,
You guys are on Thursday nights at
30
8:30 ish.
ish. Yeah, we say
Then you
ish.
turn right around and you hit us across the head again on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah,
Conversations
with
with
Lou. Yeah,
Lou.
conversations with
And
Lou.
then sometimes you'll give us a Saturday show. Sometimes you'll do
Yeah,
that, and so I just appreciate everybody that's in this space. I appreciate, the support, the genuine support from whom it comes from. And so saying this has been a dope conversation. Like
that's facts.
I truly appreciate it. I
Yeah,
appreciate your time. Like, I'm gonna have to go
always.
through your pictures, or you just send me a good picture of you and your wife, because when I promote this podcast, I gotta put her up in the
Oh yeah,
pictures.
yeah, yeah. I got you. I got you. Definitely. She gonna be like, I'll be like, babe. She gonna post. Wait. Let me make sure they good.
Yeah.
Like, babe, I
All
took the
all you
picture.
gotta do is say, "Remember, you
Yeah,
taught me well. Let me take a
yeah.
picture, girl. I got
Babe, I took the picture. I got this, baby. Thanks.
photos by Saint."
Yeah, yeah. Hey, it's coming soon too. While you playing?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
like
told her
it.
that's probably my next investment, like big investment. I want to buy a camera
Yeah.
because I love
Yeah.
photography.
That's
I love
awesome.
it.
I'm telling
But
you,
yeah,
that
listen.
picture was dope.
So listen,
That picture was dope.
the
Now,
the
a
the
man
the
though, I was like,
whole
okay,
the whole
angles, sit the angles.
always the whole support thing with us.
Mhm.
When we came into the podcast, we got this thing. Obviously, all of us use it across the board. It's collaboration over competition.
Yeah.
We never. There's a lot of hate. You know what I mean? In this industry, in this world,
Yes.
like I never understood that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? One thing the streets taught me was there's enough for everybody to eat. And I feel like there's no reason why we need to
Yeah.
cut, each other's throats. Like why? Um,
Yeah.
the market that you attract and the market that your fan base, they're completely different from me
Right.
and ours. And Kevin and Edwina with Boss Fest and China, like everybody has their own space.
Right.
So the beautiful thing about social media is that it's limitless.
Yep.
It's so vast. It's other
Yep.
countries. It's the world. So you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
this. You know what I mean?
I
Like
do.
everybody who
I
worries
do.
about this completely forgets that there's all of this. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
I'm telling
And
you.
that's the space that we're no longer us. I think I feel like I could say that for all of us in Polk County that are doing. We're no longer just worried about this. Like we
Yeah.
want everything else. Like we
Absolutely.
like
Listen.
this.
Listen. I say, baby, we are on the shampoo aisle. Because anytime you
Absolutely.
you you read about it, it's like there are people that are keeping all of
Yeah.
these brands in
Yeah.
business. So find your
Yeah.
aisle,
Find
find
your
your
eye.
shelf, and sell
Yeah.
out.
And
You
if
know
you
what
get tired of that aisle, move on to the next aisle. You know
I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying? Absolutely. It's always There's enough for everybody to eat, man.
Yeah,
And I appreciate. I
yeah,
listen. I know I speak for Lou. I speak for the guys on the cast. We appreciate every connection we've made. Um, this year, we're looking forward to all the networks. All the engagements we got with everybody lined up.
yeah,
Everything we got lined up. We got a bunch of stuff in the works, man. And I'm excited not only for us but for everybody.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm excited and I'm happy to see where everybody's going. And like I said, 5 years from now, when we all, you know what I'm saying, living it up, we can, all unite. And Boss Fest, we can all unite one day.
No,
And
that's right.
you know what I'm saying? And we can all have a look back and be like, damn, humble
Yep,
beginnings. You know what I'm
yep,
saying? This is where
yep,
we
yep, yep.
started.
So
Um,
listen, I need for
and
y'all to remember the date. Remember October 26th. Y'all can't do anything on that date. It's gonna be a celebration. All right. So just I'm not gonna tell you what,
October
but
26th.
October 26th.
Well, you
You
already
already know it
said,
ain't me being
yeah.
it's not me
I'll
being married, so you already
nah.
know that.
You're a Scorpio. That's your birthday. I know it's that month, so that's probably what it is.
Okay.
See, it's something
You're so
like that.
smart.
Yeah. I told you, I think
Smart.
outside the box. But yeah, we're
So yeah.
definitely we're
So yeah.
excited, man. We're
Yeah.
excited for everything. I
Good.
I
I'm
appreciate
excited
you.
too.
I
Thank you
appreciate you. Like I
as well.
said,
Yeah.
we're
So
gonna do
you
this
guys make
again, and you
sure.
gotta you gotta come on the show. You got to,
So
you
I'm
know.
gonna say something. I'm gonna be petty. I'm gonna be petty Betty for a second. I don't know if y'all want me on the podcast. I might put Swan to sleep. I don't know. He was so
Nah,
disengaged when I was talking the last time. I don't know. I might put Swan to sleep. Y'all check in with Swan. Tap into him and see
nah,
if it's okay. Tap into
listen,
him and see if
I
it's
told
okay.
Lou we gonna have to put like a little mechanical slap behind his head so that whenever he starts doing, just, hey, get up, wake up, my bad, bro, my bad. He he be trying to tune into the comments and everything, and sometimes he be like, hey, and he be like, oh yeah, my bad. I'm like, bro, don't worry about that. It's all right. They're gonna be all right. We got
Yeah.
Vontae for that. But
Yeah.
yeah, we definitely want you on the podcast,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, we
Yeah,
want
I
you on the
definitely want to
podcast.
come. It seems like it's hella fun. So yeah,
It would be
I need to swing
it
on
would
by
be
the pod.
good. It would be good to have, a
I would love
female.
to.
We're big on it because as even though we're all four guys and usually we all
Yeah,
talking guy shit, it's still good to see the other side and the perspective on the other side. You know what I mean?
absolutely,
It's important.
absolutely.
It's important. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely be it would be fun to have you
Yeah,
come on and
yeah.
talk your shit. Talk
I'm
your
telling
shit.
you,
You know what I
like
mean?
I keep trying to tell, like all of my friends, like my best friends were guys.
Yeah.
Like I have my clique of girls that are like, or women
Hmm.
who are like just my sisters. But I'm telling you, like throughout college, high school, I used to always
Yeah.
be with dudes all the time because I vibed better with
Yeah.
dudes. So yeah, I would feel like I'm right at home if I came
Yeah,
on. So yeah, just let
we
me know,
brought
send the
China.
invite.
We brought China on. She brought
Yeah.
her man with. She's like, I ain't know I didn't want to come around here. And then she's like, man, y'all like my brothers, dog. Like,
Listen, I ain't breaking nobody.
yeah.
So
Z pulled up on us. Shout out to Big Z.
yes.
She pulled up. Vibe was great. We had another lady on there,
Y'all had
Jennifer
my
Torres.
girl Aisha
We
on there.
yeah, we've had a lot
Yeah,
of at first when we started it was just all guys, and
yeah.
little by little we've been like, man, we need females on here, bro, because we
You
can't
do.
just talk shit and not hear what the other side says about it. So yeah, it definitely will be a
Right.
vibe, man, and
Yeah,
I
so we'll
can't
make it
wait, man.
happen.
It's gonna be a vibe.
We'll make it
Yeah,
happen. We'll make it
definitely.
happen. And so I just want to say again, happy belated anniversary.
Thank you,
I'm
thank you,
gonna
thank
remember
you.
that 222
222,
22. That's a dope date. So
listen,
we
Rick
we
Ross,
all are gonna
man.
remember that.
Rick
I
Ross.
know,
We
right?
in room 222.
Right. And
222.
look, that's
Yeah,
what was in my head
that's
too.
that's how when we said it, that's how I was like, we in room 222. Like that's it. That's it,
Yes.
man. Yeah, I
So that's a dope
appreciate it,
date.
man.
You are very welcome. And so listen, so check this out. When we talk about rooms, this has been episode 102.
Well, yeah.
So we are in room
Oh,
112 right
yeah.
now, pun
Yeah,
intended.
once
So
well.
this has been episode 112 with my special guest, Saint. And I definitely want you guys to make sure that you tune in, you subscribe to the This, That, and the Other podcast. They
Mm,
are on all of your podcast platforms. They go live
everything.
every
Thursday.
Thursday and Friday on Facebook Live. So you got to make sure that you tune in. Definitely, you got to be a
Absolutely.
part of my Jazzy crew because I would love for you to subscribe here. I go live every Monday. You guys know that every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IG and also on Facebook. You can also catch the replay over on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, you hit that notifications bell, and you leave me some comments in the comment section. And I am also on all podcast platforms as well. Remember, now is adult time for a comeback, and you want to make sure that you follow these three principles in order to make a dope comeback. You can make a comeback with God, the right
Mm,
resources, knowing how to use those resources effectively, and the willingness to do the work. All
oof.
right. So I'll see you here next Monday with another guest, and I cannot wait for you to be a part of my Jazzy crew. Y'all have a good night. See you later,
Appreciate it.
Saint.
Peace out.